שלוש, ארבע, ו... No, that means like ready, steady, go.
You're having a stroke.
Okay. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
This is Hashtag Nailed It with me, Tova Lee.
I mean, Michael Lee.
How are you?
Yeah, good. It's been a while since we've done one of these, isn't it?
I know. I thought it was just been a while. Yes,
No.
It's been a while. Well, because we were away, right?
We've been on holiday.
We have been on holiday. But that's for a different show, so don't
Yes.
start talking about our holiday.
Well, no, I'm not.
Because then you're ruining next show.
Just go to Tova's Instagram and you'll see our holiday. You know, all its
No,
glory.
you'll see Mike's extraordinary outfits on holiday. Is what you mean?
Yeah, you did a whole
We've
thing
We've gone from travel vlog to fashion vlog.
You did a whole thing about my Birkenstocks. Now, sorry, I know we're not talking about this for this particular. For those who don't know, Birkenstocks I think they're German. The brand of German
everybody in Germany
sandals.
was offended. Also, I just want you to know you're very fashionable in Australia and in Denmark.
Thank you very much. Thank you. But the whole thing about which I think are very nice sandals, and I think I like.
But in white, Mike.
Let
white.
me finish. I'd like to say I think I was one of the first people, certainly in London, to wear Birkenstocks. I genuinely was. I had for many years a white leather pair that you got me to throw out.
Oh my God.
And I like them, especially when you go on
wear
holiday and you
them
get a
still,
tan.
but you wear the
No, these are
white
new
there.
ones.
Oh.
These are plastic ones you wear around swimming pools.
Oh.
You know. Anyway.
Wait.
It
But
was
to
a
your
bit annoying.
defense.
How can I? I'm finished. Lots of men wear the most disgusting sandals. Some with socks, some with too many straps, or those horrible Crocs, which are just a crime against any kind of fashion.
Wow, now you're offending
No, I really
a whole
am. That people are
bunch of
laughing at my
people.
sandals,
Yeah.
which I think are just quite plain, quite nice, leather. Nice.
Okay, first of all, nobody was laughing at you. People were laughing with you, and there's
they're
a
laughing
difference.
at me
No,
'cause
they
you
were
were going,
not. They were not.
"Look
And
at my
also,
husband laugh at
wait,
this-
and actually,
these
a lot
sandals."
of people sent in pictures of their husbands'
Right.
shoes and sandals, and I have to say, they were far worse than you. Like
now you
far,
tell me.
far, far worse.
You always tell me these things
No,
when we're
really,
doing a
like
podcast.
sandals would suck.
Tell me this at home.
No, you always tell me stuff that bug you in the podcast.
Oh.
I just want to say that as we were in Israel and I was showing him my stories and laughing, he said nothing. You just went,
Oh, because I was hurt.
You need
Laugh. You meant to laugh. You meant to show sort of empathy and sympathy now. But I go, I'm really sorry. Maybe I've overstepped the mark. No, just
I
laughing.
don't believe you. You were not hurt. Anyway, but the gag was I asked people, we took a vote whether or not I should burn your sandals. And the majority said to burn them. But did I burn them? Did I burn them?
Bloody dare.
No, I did not burn them.
Exactly. Anyway.
Yet.
It's good to be back.
Yeah, it is good to be back.
A very exciting show for you
Yes,
this evening.
we have a very exciting show. We decided to talk about dating today.
And particularly dates.
Yes, bad dates.
Bad dates.
Dates. And actually asked a lot of you guys, people from Instagram, too. Talking to the three people who are listening to us. Did you know that we are number 33 in China?
33 in China.
Weight under health.
We're not.
I swear on my life. I don't know who does these charts. They are
Is there a
so
version in
random.
Cantonese?
I don't understand who does.
Health.
Who listed us under health? That's my number one question.
Wow.
It's so random. But anyway, thank you so much to China. To
Well,
everybody
that's
in China.
amazing. That's I'm going to dine on that.
Yeah, so people have sent in
I've
their...
got the 33rd
Yeah.
most popular, and it's a
Podcast.
big bloody country. It's
I
the biggest country in the
know,
world.
right?
You know, so that's
But
extraordinary.
it's awful because that means people are listening to our health advice.
Wow.
You know?
Wow.
It's
Have we ever
really-
given health advice?
Well, we talked about Candida one week. We talk about, I don't know how it happened. I don't know.
Wow.
Anyway, so we're talking about dates, and people have been sending in their stories of bad dates.
Yeah, because the thing, I mean, obviously, thankful, not when we met online dating, but online dating has exploded over the years. But even before online dating, whether you met people in a pub, there was always, do you want to go on a date and a first date? So what I like about it is that no matter how old you are, we've all, well, I hope you've all had, if you're of a certain age, we've all had dates, you know. Is that funny? I'm not
love
food.
your
We've had
intro.
dates. So,
really thought about
I have. I've don't knock it. I've actually done some
I love
work
it.
here.
Well done.
So I've
Well
been
done.
scouring Twitter and stuff and stories, and you've hopefully you got some amusing stories there.
Well, I was very lazy. I just asked people to send in their stories and I printed them up.
Do you remember our first date?
Yes, but we talked about it.
We talked about it. Go listen back to episode.
But I was thinking actually about myself, and I have a feeling that you have much more dating stories.
I've been on many dates.
Many dates. Because I was trying to think. I haven't been on that many dates. Like because I'm a serial. Like I had boyfriends for long periods of time. Like, does that make sense? So, like, I was in long-term.
So basically, you started dating seriously most people you've had a date with.
Yeah, like I had a date with someone, then he was my boyfriend for 5 years.
Yeah, wow.
I had a date with someone, then I married him, and I basically, I had some dates between my husband and you.
Right.
Yeah. And they were like, I don't have a good dating story. It might come back to me, like maybe. Yeah.
So you've done literally no research. Let's
No,
talk
I
about
have.
dating.
I
didn't even think about.
I have.
Oh, okay.
You know me. I always have something to say about everything.
Yeah,
But I want to
true.
hear about your dating stories because I feel.
Oh, I can't remember that.
You've gone on loads of dates.
I've been on loads of dates. I can't remember.
You've been on a lot of dating sites as well, right?
No, I wouldn't go that far. I was on one or two. No, one before I met you. Then the one I met you, I was on that one for a few years.
Have you ever dated the same, like a few people at the same time?
It depends what you mean. But I've been on a few first dates at the same time.
Right.
I haven't gone into a relationship and still dated people.
Right, but like a second or third date, still like with a few people? Because you see, I did that. I feel
Maybe
like
a couple of dates.
I feel like in the short time that I had, I sort of. So, for example, I was dating like, what was this dating? Like I went out on a couple of dates with two guys at the same time.
Right.
So you say, did you do that?
Well, at the same time, well, like an interview, there was two of you still sitting
I actually
there.
went on a date with.
I can see you doing that. Let's start with you.
I went for like an early evening, and then I went like for a later.
Oh, 2 in a night.
Yeah, but it was like just a date, like in a bar, not like
Wow.
something else. Yeah,
That's all sort of date hopping.
yeah.
I don't know if I've done that. I know some people have done. One friend of mine, I think he's going to write a book on it. He was a serial internet dater. He's done like 4 or 5 dates a day.
Wow.
Really, I mean, hopefully that book will come out and I'll let you know about it. He has the most extraordinary stories. And I should have dug those out.
But what's your worst dating story? Do you have one?
I can't think of worse. I can remember amusing moments. I remember going on a first date with someone and she lived quite near me and she said, do you want to come back for a drink or whatever? I said, fine. And then she uttered those immortal words, I'm just going to go into my room and slip into something more comfortable.
Which
and
is
I
good.
thought, wow, this is okay. This is didn't know it was
going
going to
really
go
well.
that way. And when she came out, I then realised she meant it literally because she just got into her pajamas and big, for those fluffy, what do they call your feet?
What?
Slippers that were which was like toy tiger faces, like kids wear. She'd literally gone to slip into something.
And
more
were you
comfortable.
naked? Were you just like waiting for her naked?
No, I was sitting. No. Can you imagine?
But that would have been so much
Oh
better
wow,
if you had.
So that was quite bizarre. I do remember that one because that was like one of my first kind of blind internet dates. And I was like, my God, is internet dating
like, this
all
is
like
what
this?
it's all about.
This is what it's
everybody's
like.
doing it.
Jesus Christ, this is just bizarre. So that was the sort of strangest sort of one. I'm sure again it will come. Maybe I had some more. I don't remember having sort of real. I've had first dates where the person's turned up basically blind drunk. When you realise they've nerves or whatever, and they show up, or during the date they get really, really pissed.
Yeah.
Maybe it's nerves. You're thinking, my God, especially like it's a Tuesday night after work,
I'm
and you
like
realise
trying to recall our
half
first
hour
date
in they've
thinking-
knocked back 4 cocktails. You're like, bloody hell.
Yeah.
So a few like that,
Yeah.
I think.
Didn't we get quite drunk on our first official date? Like, I feel like we did. No?
I think you did.
So is this a story about me?
Yeah, I think you did. I think I was quite sober.
Yeah, well, good.
Anyway,
Okay, yeah.
I've got a few. Again, these aren't. I'm not doing any sort of top 10, but I've got a few quite nice ones.
Wait, so where did you get these stories? Where are they from?
A mixture of social media
Right.
and the internet.
Because there are some really shocking dates out there. Like people were sending in stories today. Yeah, people have been on some really, really bad dates. Should I read some things?
Go on.
Yeah. Okay, so not everything is like bad dates. Some of them are just like anecdotes about dating.
Okay.
So Kate from Instagram said, dating in my 40s is painful.
Right.
Do you think dating as you get older gets more painful?
Yeah, I think the older you get, I think people get more set in their ways.
Yeah.
So you get
can't be
more set in
asked.
your ways.
You're like
you
5
can't be
seconds in.
asked.
It's like a casting.
Yeah.
You sort of like no, right?
Yeah.
Within 5 seconds. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Can you just say that to a person?
I think if you do it
You
in a
just
nice
didn't
way,
get the
look,
role.
You know,
It
I know
was
we
nice
said we're
to
going to
meet
dinner.
you, but
Let's
no.
have a drink. I mean, I
Yeah.
know before you start, I know lots of people have certain things. You have a friend. I'm meeting someone at 7.
Yes.
Do me a favour at
All those
7:30.
codes. Yes.
Can you call me and I'll
Yes.
pick up the phone and go, what? Oh no, really?
But don't people know this by now? Like,
well, I
can you really
assume
do that?
so that you get a lot of those kind of
Yeah.
things, or you sort of go, I can meet for a quick drink. I've got a meeting, then if it's going well, oh, it's cancelled.
Yeah.
Carry on. I think everyone's done those kind of things.
Wow, you did
Oh,
that.
yeah,
Wow.
I've done them all. I've done them all.
Wow, it's all coming out now.
Yep.
Okay, so Kate from Instagram says dating in my 40s is painful. So far, not by choice, 3 married men
Right.
who told me they were single, and one man who asked if I'd be willing to put a nappy on him.
What? A nappy? Was he incontinent? What? What?
don't
what?
know.
Nappy because he
No,
had
I
a
think because
baby.
I think because he had some sort of weird fetish.
Oh, we might
I'm
have
joining a convent next week. Best one is the guy who didn't stop talking, so I told him that he was boring me and left him just sat there at the bar.
Well, that's fair enough.
I know, but 3 married guys who told her they were single.
Well, I've got one here.
Wait, so do you
Oh.
think people lie on
Oh
first
God,
dates?
yes. I think they lie on more than first
Yeah.
dates. Oh, absolutely. I mean,
Lots of people lie on their profile and on
Of course
their
they do.
pictures, right?
Well, the picture's
Especially
the worst
online.
one. The
yeah.
picture's the big one, isn't it? The
Yeah.
people show up and they look nothing like their picture. They've used a picture when they were 20 years ago. What do you think people are going to do when they see that? You immediately just go,
I know.
You've lied. I
You're
haven't
like,
met you.
it's not
and
you.
you've already lied. I
Yeah.
mean, what's the point? Anyway,
Okay.
here's a quick one from Emmeline. This was the first date with a friend of a friend. I was told he was a fellow cat lover. And I'd really got on well with him. So he picks me out for dinner. And his cats are actually in the back of the car. A little strange, but I went along with it.
Okay.
His cats then got violently cat sick, covering the entire cat and myself in vomit. We didn't make it to the restaurant. So that's quite bizarre, just being
No.
vomited on by cats.
Oh my God. But
Yeah.
why would you bring your cats on
Well,
a
there you
first
are.
date?
I know.
That's so odd.
Really, I mean, there's a lot of...
It's like I wrote, I'm a cat lover. I have to take them everywhere with me now.
Yeah, this is an odd one. This was, Fernando.
Oh, yeah.
A former boyfriend of mine were going on a romantic weekend, beach escape, 2 of us. A day before the trip, he asked if his father could go with us. I didn't like it, but I kind of went, okay. What I didn't know or could imagine was
That's okay.
that his father would stay in the same hotel room as us. I spent 2 nights sleeping with my bra on.
Oh my God.
Father in the same room.
Oh my God.
That's just weird, isn't it?
Isn't it weird though? Like when you think back about stories, like stuff that you did in your life, you think like, how did I do that?
What? Yeah. What did you do? You elaborate?
No, I just mean
How did I do that?
like
Like what?
in general. You know, everybody has like this weird story about like spending a night in a hotel in the same room as like your date with his father.
And I've just read that. Why are you repeating it?
You don't understand what I'm saying.
No, I don't.
It's just weird how everybody has like that really bizarre story. And
Well, I don't. I don't have a story. I've never had a father sleep with me in the same
you
room.
think to yourself,
Or mother.
how did that even happen? You know, no, not that specific story. Just a story that doesn't make sense that it happened. Never mind.
One thing that I think,
can't
looking
see it.
back, and I mentioned certain dates like drinking too much and nerves. I think when people sort of, I don't know why,
Yeah.
they're not themselves, and I think people try and play a role and
Yes.
be different, maybe wacky or
Yeah.
really trying to be intellectual when they're not, talking about films they love they've never seen. This is the great one, Abigail.
Wait.
No,
I
can
want
just-
to read out
I've
people
got
who
loads.
we know.
Okay,
Hang
just
on.
say very quickly. Can I-
No. K-Sab, is that how I
I've-
read
I'm linked
his name?
that beautifully.
K-Sab from Instagram.
This is what I get all at home. Just the rudeness.
Okay, go on. Okay,
I was
go
just
on.
talking about, I
Yes,
linked
yes,
this, and now
yes.
you're just
Oh, sorry,
talking
there
over
was a
me.
link. There was a link.
Yes,
Okay, go on
okay.
then.
So Abigail said, first date with a guy who pretended we're being filmed for a reality TV show.
That's good.
Anytime anything went wrong when he knocked his glass of wine off the table, he'd gesture to the corner of the bar and say, Simon, make sure you edit that bit out. There was
Oh.
no second date.
My God.
Can you imagine that?
Oh my God.
How annoying is that? What a lunatic.
No, that's not even annoying, Mike. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That's like, wow, that's insane. Okay. So, Kaseb, is that right?
What?
I don't know. How do
Kaseb?
Yeah. From Instagram said, I went on a date once to the movies with a guy. Halfway through the movie, he told me that his girlfriend would really like this movie.
That's extraordinary. I mean, I think going back, that kind of reminds me when you said, do you go on many first dates or whatever?
Yeah.
I think if you do too many at a time, you forget what people's
yeah.
likes are.
Yeah.
And
Or
then
their
you might,
names.
or their names.
Just
Or
forget
go,
their names.
oh, yeah, you did that last week.
Yeah.
No, I didn't. And then you realise, well, clearly he's talking about someone else.
Yeah.
I think that happens a lot when, like, I've never been on Tinder, but I think now people just, their social life is, oh, I'm in town tonight. What should I
Yeah.
do? I'll go on Tinder and meet
You
someone
noticed
for
that
a
Leon
drink.
was sort of like,
Is that what happens? But I think
he was just
No,
going
but
like that.
when I speak to youngsters,
Yeah, to
they
the
tell me that's
the
what they do.
youngsters. I
Who's
know.
local in this area?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll meet this person for a drink.
But
You
by
know?
the way, has Tinder been deleted?
What, from my phone?
No, like in general, is Tinder still?
Yes.
Is Tinder still? Is it? Does it exist?
Yeah. I think there are others out there now, I
No, 'cause
believe.
somebody's whatever
Do you
starting a
just-
rumor.
have you been on Tinder? Yeah, okay. I don't know, because a lot of people do.
Oh, you're putting.
Oh, okay.
you
Bless
see?
you.
Aw. Okay, so I'm going to read another one.
And then I've
okay?
got a Tinder story to tell you.
Oh, so you link it. Come on, you linked it. Tell me.
No,
the
because
Tinder
I wasn't
story.
rude. You started, so you can
Okay,
finish.
so I don't care about that. Okay, Jem says, is that Jem?
Jem, yes.
Yes. Says, I was on a date. No, it was date night. So this is like a slightly different story, but it was date night. Anyway, my husband, then he wasn't her husband, he's her husband now, proposed when he was drunk, talking about people getting drunk on dates, right? I talked him out of it because it wasn't the right time, and he insisted he was going to give me the ring when we got home. Then he proceeded to get into bed and tell me it's not time. He rolled over and went to sleep, and then in the morning, he remembered nothing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. He texted me around lunchtime, curious why I was so upset.
And they got married.
And they did get
Well
married
done. Well,
eventually.
there we are.
Yeah, so you see.
That's
Some
extraordinary.
bad dates end in marriage.
That's incredible. This talking about Tinder.
Yes.
This is a bit of a light one. Gracie, it's only 21. Started on Tinder. I swiped right, and so did he. It started out well. We seemed to like the same things, and we chatted easily, so we met up quickly. We met in the city. He planned a bit, and I went along and brought my pencils with me as instructed. So she's been told to bring pencils. Okay. Okay. We ended up in a life drawing studio.
Oh.
Got a can of beer each and set up our spots.
that's
He seemed
quite
to know a few
nice,
people.
actually.
And that was a tick for me. He knew some people there. I love nothing more than a man who draws. He then popped to the toilet, and you guessed it, came back in as the model, confident in all his nakedness. I obviously turned red as hell.
Oh my
During the
God.
next hour, that was I think that was the
Is
whole
that it?
story. Yeah, so during the whole hour, I saw more of that man than I expected. I mean, that's extraordinary,
Yeah.
isn't it? I like drawing, you like drawing,
I
whatever.
actually thought it was a really good idea, like for
But he was the
it's
model.
original,
Yeah,
Wow.
incredible, isn't it?
Yeah.
Quite incredible.
Wow.
There, you have another one there?
Okay, yeah, I have loads as well. Okay, let's see some people from Facebook. This is anonymous from Facebook. Okay, I went on a date. This is bizarre. So people who get upset on dates. I went on a date. My mom rang me, so I answered in case of an emergency. And after I put down my phone on the table, the guy asked me back for sex. I think they were having sex, and then her mom called.
Martin asked me to go back to his for sex.
Oh, back to his. Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
for sex. And I said, no, I'd like to go home. He took my phone and smashed it on the floor and walked away. I don't know why that's
He just smashed her phone
He
up.
just went like that and walked away.
That's extraordinary.
It's just like, what a
That
strange
is
reaction.
unbelievable.
Yeah, I'm
What is-
sorry,
what-
Anonymous. That sounds
What do
awful.
people like? This is Joe. I had a first date with this guy. He asked me to bring my camera with me. Obviously, this is a few years back because you just got cameras on your phone. I didn't think much of it. We went to dinner. We had a $1 pizza slice, his choice.
I love the
He-
details.
He made me take headshots of him against a dumpster for his modelling profile. After dinner, he said, come up to mine, we can upload the photos, and proceeded to tell me I needed to dress edgier and smile less. He came up to my apartment and met my roommate. When she walked out the room, he said, "She's hot. Can I get her number?"
No.
I told him it was time to leave, emailed him his photos, and never talked to him again.
Wow.
How extraordinary people
Wow,
are like
but
that.
I
do you
have-
think, sorry to interrupt,
Wait.
do you think, though, the younger generation who don't meet in the way that we
Make us
did...
sound like we're
pub-
ancient.
We are.
Stop it.
But do you think now, because everything's done through social media and all that,
Yes.
have no etiquette about how you just talk and deal with people?
No.
I mean, no.
No,
What,
I
you
don't-
disagree with that?
Yeah.
I think they've got no social skills.
No. First of all, bring a camera. This means this story is from like 30 years ago. You know?
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think it has anything to do with the younger generation. I just think people are assholes no matter what generation. Like, it's not, you know? Why do you think it matters? But I have a similar story to that,
Okay.
by the way, about the... I can't remember now what the story was, but I had a similar one. So listen, well, how do you read this name?
Giadalia?
Yes, from Instagram. She goes, once I really liked a guy from university. He was so sweet and funny. At the end, he asked me to have a date and also asked me to go take him home because I had a car, right? And he didn't have a car. So I went and I was so nervous. And then I knocked on the door. He opened completely naked. And I know you think that's the story, but that's not the story. Okay, he opened completely naked saying, "Hey, baby. Oh, I thought you were coming in an hour." Okay, I mean, one thing is being late. Another is to open naked, whatever. I said I was just going to wait outside. And then I saw another girl coming out of his apartment.
No.
I went home.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. So she was early, like by an hour. And
Unbelievable. This is the short
I know.
one here.
Go on.
I thought my date was leaning in for a kiss, but it turns out he was just examining my face so he could tell me I reminded him of Kurt Russell.
Nice.
Isn't that extraordinary?
That is very nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's nice. Hello?
Yeah, sorry, I thought you had another one there, no?
No, I'm waiting for
Oh,
you.
okay. I met a girl once, so this is Scott. I met a girl for a blind date once. She didn't say a single word throughout dinner, finished her meal, and walked out. I then checked my phone, and there was a message from the girl saying she couldn't make it tonight. Who the hell did I eat with?
Oh, that's brilliant. That's amazing. But
I mean,
can
just
you tell?
try and
Can
get
you
polite
tell though?
chit-chats.
Can you tell? You know, like when you go to restaurants and you see couples, like sitting having dinner. Like, can you tell?
Yes. Oh, they're having a date.
Yeah. How do you
Absolutely.
tell? What are the
The
signs?
sort of stilted conversation. You can sort of see them like, I mean, again, it's very true. You think about a normal date thing. You sort of go, how did you get here? Fine. How did you get off on you? Whatever. Whatever. You came from work. What do you do again? So you have that kind of work stuff. And then what?
Yeah.
You then have to go, what music do you like? I mean, you have to this
No,
awful,
but that's
like,
what I meant about before.
Yeah.
Like you either. That's what I meant. I really do believe that dating is like a lot like casting. You know
Or like
within
an
the
interview.
first literally 3 minutes if there's any kind of chemistry,
Chemistry,
if there's
right.
any
Okay.
type of whatever. And I think that when there is, you don't think of topics for conversation. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? You just, I don't know. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Does that make sense though?
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. I feel like you can always tell, and you can always tell also when it's people who have been married.
I just remembered now my first internet blind date. It's just come to me. I'd never done one before,
Okay.
and I was a member of at the time a nice members club in town, and I used to go there quite a lot, and so I knew a lot of people in there. And this is still when people maybe I didn't think loads of people were doing blind dates. So I felt a little bit nervous and
Oh,
apprehensive
really?
about
Wow.
it. And I sat at one end of this bar. So I knew people in there and they obviously didn't know who I was meeting. And this girl came in the door. So it was a good, 10, 15 yards away. Looked around, saw me. I put my hand up, waved hello. And she shouted from across the bar, "Oh my God, you look so different to your photo." And
Oh
everyone
my
looked round.
God.
Everyone I knew, the barman. And I was just like, oh.
Mike, that is the
It's
most
just come to me.
embarrassing dating
I told
story
you it
ever.
would come to me. It
Wow.
came to me. And I was just like, oh my God, really? This is what they're like? That was my first blind date.
Was she nice?
I have no recollection.
Do you remember her name?
No.
Wow.
I mean, wow.
Wow.
I told you, what a lot of dates.
Wow.
I couldn't remember names.
You couldn't? Like now if you had to write down the names of... Oh,
No.
No, you couldn't?
No, I probably barely get 10%.
That is shocking.
Why is it shocking?
Really
It's many
shocking.
years ago.
Really shocking.
That's not shocking. Unbelievable. Anyway, Linda, this is the great one. In college, a friend set me up on a blind date. I wasn't in a great mood because I just received a traffic ticket a few hours before. My day got worse when my blind date turned out to be the cop who gave me the ticket.
No. Really?
Yep.
Where's this? I was going to say confession. Where is this from?
Isn't that good?
From Twitter? Okay. I have another one, anonymous from Facebook. And she goes, oh, I wanted to say, okay. So I was dating a guy a few years ago, and he had me meet his mom. Oh, yeah, I like this story. You listening?
Yeah.
He had me meet his mom. As soon as I met his mom, I started my period.
What?
And
What, literally then?
literally, it's like, hi, how'd you do? And suddenly felt she got her period. So she was like, I couldn't just straight out come out and say it because she doesn't believe in putting personal things out there like that. Okay. So I sat with them for 2 hours, clenching as hard as I could, not to bleed all over the place. We then went back to my house and I ran upstairs to the bathroom. When I came back to the room, he asked me why I changed my clothes and why did I run off so fast. And I didn't know what to say, so I just told him I peed myself.
Well, that wasn't going to be worse than...
Yeah.
Wow.
And
that's
she goes,
awful.
it is so embarrassing that I didn't tell anyone about it until now. I love that, anonymous.
She's given anonymous. Fair enough.
I love that. Well,
There
what's worse, though, than getting your period or weeing yourself?
Exactly. There does seem to be a lot of theme with parents. We've already mentioned
Yeah,
dads
parents are really
in rooms.
involved in people's dating.
This was Kelly, the sort of date that went on a date and the guy brought his parents. He was 25. Yeah. If that's not bad enough, halfway through the meal, his mum asked me if I was going to finish mine and took out tin foil out of a bag to wrap up my food for her to take home. I mean, that's extraordinary, isn't it?
Did they then go to a hotel and all sleep in the same room?
I don't think so.
It's a different family?
But I think that's the thing about, I don't know. I mean, what do people do? How old were you when your first kind of date? Can you remember?
No, but like a teenager.
Yeah. How old?
So, like I said, a date, like a date.
Well, the cinema you might make.
Yeah, it was a cinema.
Yeah, kids at the cinema was always a cheap night out.
So I was like 16.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like a date. But you don't meet the parents. He was my neighbor.
Yeah, but I think a lot
He
to
knew
meet.
my
Well,
parents.
we talked about this before. When one of my daughters goes on her first date at 16, I want to know who he is and I want to be spying on them.
You won't. Mike.
We've had this conversation
You will
before.
not
I absolutely will.
You will not.
What? They won't tell me?
No, you won't. They won't come to the door. It'll be all on WhatsApp.
Yeah, but I'll
anything.
hack their phones.
God, you're so naive.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway.
I'd say I'm out.
Okay.
They're my best ones there.
Okay, let's see. I have a few more. I think I do. Okay, here, talking about the movies.
Yeah.
Sorry, can you read this?
They've got some interesting Gumankum. I think
The thing is this.
Gumankum.
This is not really represent the names of the people. It's,
Oh, right.
it's the
So
stupid
Instagram.
Instagram. And it gives you like these weird titles, and I never know how to figure out what the name of the person is. So I'm really sorry. But somebody with a very complicated
Or
name
it could
from
be
Instagram.
Garmin KN.
Exactly. See what I mean? Garmin.
Garmin. Yeah.
KN. Okay.
Gary.
From Instagram.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, it doesn't matter because there are no prizes here. So somebody, right? Garmin.
Thank you for writing in.
Thank you so much.
Is that rude?
I wasn't being rude.
The post has made the effort to write to you.
Garmin KN from Instagram.
Yeah, we've said that enough.
It was a blind
You can carry on for the
I
night.
wonder if this was anonymous. No, it wasn't. It
no.
wasn't. Okay,
Get
so
on with it.
it was a blind date. I can't see anything. It was a blind date, and we went to the movies. Afterwards, he asked if I was hungry. I said sure, and he promptly took me to McDonald's. Sorry, I was a bit annoyed by that, but I went along. You see, this is the type of story that I meant before. We all have those stories that you then think, how did I say yes to go to McDonald's? Do you get what I'm saying? How did I say yes to sleep in the same bedroom with his wife? But in the moment you say yes because you're kind of like, well, I'm here.
But if this
Do you know
date,
what I mean?
but if they were both 16, wouldn't that be an acceptable place to go?
I mean, she was upset, so I don't think she was 16. Anyway, whatever.
Okay.
I engaged him in some conversation to pass the time, and he began to tell me about how he had lost a toe as a child.
How did that come up in conversation? First dates.
Wait.
I have to let you know that when I was younger as a child, I lost a toe.
There's nothing funny about losing a toe,
No, but
by the
to
way.
bring it up in a
it's
first
just
date.
funny that he brought it up in a first date. I just want to make this clear, okay? Apparently, his dad had run over his toe. and severed it.
Severed it.
Severed it. He then went on to tell me how he later, how he later lost several other toes as he got older. Sorry, after stepping on a glass bottle down by the creek at his aunt's farm, and proceeded, to take off his socks.
In McDonald's.
I need a tissue. Oh my God. He took his sock off and his shoes in the middle of McDonald's to show me. Of course, I was mortified by the fact that he was doing this in public. And I couldn't ever figure out whether he just really had no clue about how inappropriate it was or he was just trying to get rid of me.
Wow.
Yeah, so we're not making fun of toes, by the way. It's just really weird to talk about that on a first date at McDonald's, right?
But I mean, do you think, nothing is extreme in that, but do you think sometimes when you've been on blind dates, you sort of go down a sort of conversation cul-de-sac and you start talking about maybe one of your interests and you see in the other person's face, oh my God, they've got no interest in this. I lost them here, but I had to continue this story.
So verbal diarrhea type
verbal
of moment?
diarrhea.
Yeah, I think
or you
that
start
can certainly happen.
You might tell a very funny story
that would have been a
that
point
you
in the
realise
story that
is really inappropriate
go, actually,
or whatever.
I've crossed a line.
Yeah, exactly. And you realise that you don't know them well enough to go, you know what, I'm just going to shut up now or whatever. Or the other person just to go, can you not tell this
I know
story?
we weren't doing a competition, but I feel like if this was a competition, then this would be the winner.
I mean, the fact that he's lost more than one toes.
No, the fact that he did it at McDonald's. Wow. And then I wonder if he then went back to eat his food. Oh. Sorry. Are there big no-nos on first dates then, do you think? What's the top, let's give people some advice here. Because we are, listed under health. So I don't know if this is health related or not. But what do you think? Let's give tips.
I think there's etiquette. I mean, again, there's sort of...
Don't talk about your ex. Number one.
Yes.
Yes. Don't talk about your ex.
I remember one always used to come up because it was a conversation icebreaker.
Yeah.
Have you been on many blind dates?
Really?
Or have you been? If you're on the same
an icebreaker.
Well, it was. It's just something you come out with. You met on the same website, so whatever the website is, or Tinder. So you go, have you been on many Tinder dates? And I think people just go, yes, I have. Or so we go, something quite nice. Well, I think that's quite an obvious thing to ask.
Is it?
Yeah,
I think that's
you're a bit nervous.
Dreadful question.
Really?
Awful. Yes, it's awful. I don't.
Maybe that's why many of my first dates never went on second dates.
I know. Maybe. Okay, so don't talk about your ex. What else?
I think little things like if you've gone for dinner.
Yeah.
And I know maybe it's sexist, but I think still generally men will offer to pay the whole bill. The woman, if it is a different sex date, might go, no, I'll split it and whatever, no, I insist, or but I'll get the next one. So I think if you then order, I know, a really, really expensive bottle of wine and then go, should we go halves? And then you sort of get the bill and go, fucking cheek, whatever. I think things like that.
Yeah, I wonder what women would say about that. I don't know. It's.
Would you expect the man to at least offer to pay the bill? Okay, let's say we've gone on a blind date and the bills come. It's $100. If the person went 50-50?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind paying half. I wouldn't have an issue with that.
So there wouldn't have been if you just go...
I don't think that's
what if they chose
no-no.
the place?
I don't
and it was more expensive than you thought? Okay.
No, I could look it up.
I've taken you to a really fancy restaurant.
Right.
And you've gone, he's taking me to a lovely restaurant. Nice date. And then they've gone, the bills come, go 50-50.
But you didn't know? She didn't, the woman
No, you wouldn't know.
You don't know? You don't know?
Yeah, you wouldn't know. And then you thought, we took me to a fancy place and I didn't really want to spend a lot of money on this meal. Especially because I don't even like them.
It's tricky. I feel like most women would pay, would they? I don't know. I wonder. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, there you are. I'm out of practice.
I don't know. But I don't think that's a no-no.
What about traveling? Okay. Traveling?
What about I don't know, having sex on the first date? Is that a no-no? Is that good? Is that a positive?
I think I don't know. I think in my day, I think it was quite unusual.
Really?
I think so.
That's interesting.
I can't remember, but no, I think
like you were born 700 years ago.
I was. I think that's. I think.
When were you dating? What decade was it?
Mainly, what? But
90s?
internet stuff, the 90s.
So what? People weren't having sex on the first date in the 90s? What are you
Sadly, not with
saying?
me.
Oh, really? No. What's like, I think sex on the first date, yes or no? As a rule. What
Well, you
are
tell
we
me,
saying?
as a woman, yes or no?
Yes.
Really?
100%.
Get out of town.
Why not?
Well, you just want to see, just know what?
Yeah, I think, like, why not? Like, if you want it, then yeah,
Okay.
go for it.
I think that's...
But again, don't listen to our advice.
no, exactly.
of
If you're
course.
listening in China, it's very
Yes,
bad for your health.
It's very no, it's really good for your health, actually.
Well, it depends who you're doing.
What else? Another. Come on, I said top 3. No.
Well, I just think, I don't know. Well, obviously, the splitting the bill, asking,
help
talking
us
about
out,
ex,
'cause
talking
we
about ex,
obviously don't know what
talking
we're
about
talking
ex-partners.
I just want to say,
getting names.
wait. I just want to say we've reached the point in this chat that we literally don't know what we're saying. And when we did the show about swinging, I actually got a message from somebody who
swinger?
is a swinger.
Oh, really? Saying what?
Who was he was very kind and very nice, so I'm not like being mean or anything, but he did point out that we need to research our topics slightly more. So there was a bit of sort of like, it doesn't work
Really?
like that, this is how it works, a little bit.
How does it work?
Well, we're not talking about swingers
I
now,
wanna know
but
now. You
in
brought it
general.
up.
Yeah, we'll talk about it another
Was it,
time.
it's more...
It wasn't
planned?
how we made it sound, but that's a different
Oh.
time. My point is, when it comes
We'll do
to
a second
dating,
podcast on swinging. This is obviously a big subject for you all out there. You know? And maybe we'll research by going to an evening and just say, we just come back from a swinging night.
yeah,
For the
exactly.
purpose of this
You
podcast.
see, we should have just said that we were at an evening like that. Like we
Yeah, but
weren't,
then the swingers would know we weren't.
exactly, clearly not.
I remember for that podcast,
Clearly
I was inquiring about the catering.
exactly
quite a lot.
because it's all about the catering.
Yeah.
Yes.
So go back to that.
Yes.
I think, again, if you live in a big city and you go to someone, can you meet here? It's the other
I
side
have
of
another
town.
one. I'm
When you sort of go,
Sorry.
when you sort of go, where do you live? I live south, I live north. Or should we meet at the centre? Getting someone to travel all the way over to near you for them to think, God, I don't like this person. I've just travelled 2 hours. That I think is a bit of a
You
no-no.
see, that's actually now I'm coming, like I've noticed something interesting. Maybe it's really how men and women think different, because I'm thinking from a perspective of a woman. So I wouldn't want somebody talking about his ex, and I wouldn't want like somebody talking about his mom.
Mm-hmm.
Like, stuff like that. I don't think I would sort of think about, how long did it take me on the tube?
Oh, really? Maybe it's
I really wouldn't. It just wouldn't cross my mind to think of that as a major no-no. Like, do you know what I mean?
Maybe it's me. And I think that whole
really
thing
wouldn't.
about... I don't know.
I'd want to know if they're a good kisser,
Okay.
and I want to know it like first date.
Oh, my God.
No, I really would. I'd want to know, because I think kissing is really important. And I
Have a meal first.
of course, okay, to have a meal.
Straight in.
Yeah, but I think like if a first date doesn't end with a kiss, then I don't know if there'll be a
but
second
I
date.
think there's different
you know?
blind first dates. You might have met someone online and chatted online a lot and got to know them, chat on the phone, but
Yeah.
you're still having a first blind date face to face.
Yeah, but you either have
How
physical
much
chemistry or you
research-
don't, and you have to like touch to know to make sure
my
that
point
it's
is,
here.
I think with Tinder,
Yeah.
I think people do less and less research. Look, saying that, now you can get someone's name, Google them, find their Facebook page, their
Right.
Instagram page. I think now you can do lots more research. When I was doing internet dating, there was no Facebook. You didn't.
Really
all
great.
you had was their profile pic, the fact they like cats and long walks,
Yeah.
and read the Guardian newspaper, and that was it. So when you had that date, you didn't know very much, and it was a bit like a job interview. And I think to launch into let's meet for dinner, and you're right, you sat down, you realised within a minute, don't
Yeah.
fancy them,
Yeah.
this isn't going to work. I've now invited this person for a meal. I'm obviously going to offer to pay. It does get quite expensive. So I think now that people go, meet for coffee. I had a few who met me for a coffee.
Oh, really?
Yeah, let's meet in Hampstead for a
really,
coffee.
You see, I don't like that.
And I just sat.
I
in a sort
really
of-
wouldn't like
one of
a
those,
coffee
one of
date.
those.
That's
not
awful.
even a table.
No.
What are they called? Shelves where you sat alongside each other.
Yeah.
That's a date.
No. So you see, I would say no to a coffee date. I'm sorry.
Okay.
And actually, I was thinking about that. Like, where would you go on a date? So, like I said, my first ever date was actually to the movies. I would never go
But you can't
to the
chat to the
movies.
movies.
Exactly
You
for
can't
a first
chat.
date now. And I think a
what's wrong
coffee
with a
date.
coffee?
Because it does feel a bit like an interview, and I get it because people obviously go on a lot of dates now to to see if they click with people, and they can't be asked to do a whole meal or to go into something more. But I just feel like it's so unsexy, like to just go like to a coffee shop.
I just
with
remember
somebody,
another blind
you know?
date's come to me.
Go on
One
then.
of my first ones. I met a girl and she said, come to whatever pub it was. And basically it was like a sort of party that she knew loads of people.
Oh.
So after a while of the kind of hello chat, she was just chatting to other people. And I was just standing there going, this is the day. I don't know anyone here. I don't barely know you, but, you know, I'm here to see you. I thought,
Wow.
how rude.
Wow.
Yeah, they're slowly coming back.
By the
from
way,
my
have all your blind
subconscious.
dates been through websites, or have they like dating, whatever, or have you been set up by people on blind dates?
I was set up by friends once. It's just coming back to me. Who did that? Oh my God, we've got a friend. You're so like her. This is gonna be
Yeah.
amazing, amazing. So you got quite excited,
Yeah.
because these are good friends
That know you.
who are like, oh
That's
my
always
God.
promising,
So
right?
whatever.
It's a good way to
And
meet somebody,
It was one of the we were the complete opposites. We had nothing in common. And I got home and felt like, what possessed you to think we'd have any connection, anything? And go, oh, but you both like whatever. None at all. What, you know? And it was,
so
I found it
funny.
quite depressing how I saw my friends saw me.
Saw you.
that you thought had anything in common with this person. So I had that, but most were. There was a website was on called Single Best Friend. And best friends, so you put your profile up, and then you've got a best friend go, hey, I vouch for him. He's great. I've known Mike for many, many years.
Really?
So it's like you had a sort of your own reviewer.
No.
Yeah, it was called Single. Might be still out there. It was
Does
called
it
Single
still
Best. I don't
exist?
know. And me and a
Oh
friend
my
of mine,
God, that's so
who
funny.
you know, I won't mention on the podcast. Both went on it, and I don't think I actually got round to meeting anyone on it because I just like this is a bit strange.
Sounds a bit odd.
So you had someone going, "Oh, my friend's so funny. Oh, he's so zany. Oh, please go out with him." It was just quite a weird concept.
Sounds very odd. I've
Yeah.
never been set up with anybody.
Really?
Ever.
So you've obviously got good friends who know you quite well and don't want to sort of inflict you on anyone?
No, like I don't remember any.
Right.
No, I
Okay.
don't think I've ever been set up. No.
Really? Okay.
It's like really boring. Yes. Well, this was fun.
It was fun.
It was fun.
Yeah.
I feel like you really enjoyed this.
I did enjoy
didn't you?
that topic. I hope you did at home.
I certainly do. Thank you for everybody who sent in their
Yeah, absolutely.
stories. You
Keep
guys are
sending them in
awesome.
because I think there could be another show.
Actually,
down the
to
line.
be honest, a lot of people did send in more
Oh, okay.
this afternoon,
I think
but
we'll revisit this
I have
subject.
screen grabbed all your messages, and I'm going to ask your permission to share them on my pajama party on Friday. It's
Okay.
confessions because they're too good to miss out on. Or we can do another show about dating down the line
I think we
after
probably
we
will.
research the topic slightly further.
Cool.
But thank you so much for being with
Thank
us.
you so much for listening.
Thank you.
We'll see. Thank you.
Yes.
And thank you to my wife. And we'll see you hopefully here another time.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.